Brought to you by Penguin.
One Place de l'Église, written and read by me, Trevor Dolby. Chapter 1. Things we might want to know more of. It was the night of the fête. I was chatting to Dido in the Place de Marché when the fight broke out. It was a rip-roaring saloon bar special. Dido was happy to have a new ear to bend. She had never meant to run the village bar. It was the mayor and a couple of others who had cajoled her into the act of madness that had ruined her life. "I'm an artist," she told me loudly. "I get up at 7 to the sound of banging on the door for coffee. I close at midnight with the same people not wanting to go home. I mean, what was it, une maison close? Anyone would have a nervous breakdown, and I certainly did, and I've no intention of opening again until Monsieur le Maire repays me for the fortune I spent doing up the place." Did I know how much time she had spent? Did I know how selfish people were? Did I know of anyone who could take it off her hands for a reasonable price and allow her to up sticks to Paris, where her real destiny lay at Place du Tertre or Pigalle? "Ha!" she blurted, and stormed off, arms to the sky. Marie-Claire sat on her chair next to where we stood. Marie-Claire was our 80-plus-year-old next-door neighbour, and our first friend in the village. It seemed to me she spoke French, the way I speak French, with no discernible sense or purpose. Every utterance is a commitment to optimism and faith, largely inaudible, and sometimes as if I'm just pulling random clicks and whistles from my mind. Sounds find their way to my mouth in the hope that they might miraculously, of their own accord, form a French sentence that somebody will understand. My French is a living linguistic experiment. If one day I can speak the language with any degree of fluency, the feat will prove beyond doubt that the world is flat and precisely 6,026 years old. Marie-Claire was a burglar. Not long after we arrived that first summer holiday, I said to Hans and Lotten Björk, Swedes who speak better English than I do, who live opposite us, what a nice old lady Marie-Claire was. Hans rocked back on his Swedish brogues and whispered that I should keep my door closed, as she was wont to pop in and borrow things. "Well, that's all right," I said, borrow being the word I latched onto. "No, not all right," he announced, and proceeded to tell me that Marie-Claire pops in to borrow things like ornaments, pots, pans, kitchen condiments, such as the odd gallon of good olive oil, plants, cutlery, portable tools such as screwdrivers and hammers, books, small electronic equipment and perishables in the form of food from the fridge. Apparently, the locals nipped into her house now and again when she was wandering the village and repatriated their goods. Marie-Claire didn't seem to mind and merely commenced collecting all over again. I nodded bonjour to her and signalled to my family I was off to get us all another drink. I wove my way to the temporary 30-metre-long bar, not unlike those I am told you find in dusty outback Australian rugby clubs, and bought 2 plastic beakers of muscat and a couple of cokes. 4 drinks clasped in 2 hands, I tottered through the milling stragglers who had not yet taken their seats, and for the 4th time was asked by one of the young village girls if I was eating. I said no, and she shrugged and went on her way, hustling, or trying to hustle, people to their places. I handed a muscat to my wife and the cokes to my children. "Well," I said jovially, "I told you this would be fun." "It's hot," said Kaz. "Well, it's fun. I wouldn't exactly say hot." "Don't be an arse. The temperature, I'm broiling here." It had been around 37 degrees all day, and the temperature was still around 32. Everyone in the square was red-faced and dripping. I took a sip of...
Sample complete. Ready to continue?